Christy, we're going to get you a new sink and a new faucet, but it starts by getting rid of this old one. Now, I have been under my share of kitchen sinks in my career, and it's not that comfortable. Let me give you that.
Okay.
So check this out. They designed a pad made just for me.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
So I'm going to start by disconnecting the water. So water connections are done. Now I want to do the drain connection. So if I break this nut right here and loosen it, that will allow the sink to go up. But we're not done yet. The thing that's holding the sink in place is a series of clips way up underneath the countertop. Okay, so that is the last of the clips. So now, we could push the sink right up, but this countertop is laminate, and this rim could have some adhesive under it, so I don't want to push it up and have this laminate get destroyed.
Okay.
What I like to do is to actually put a little putty knife underneath. Okay, good. And just try to release any adhesive that's in there. And you got one over there, just try your side, okay? Yeah, good. Go right around. Keep going right around, yep. Now I'll just unplug the electrical to the disposer, and now I'm just going to push this sink up to you, Christy, and just, you hold it. I'm going to jump up. Okay, let's lift straight up. Good. All right, Christy, here is your brand new stainless steel sink. What do you think?
It is beautiful.
We ordered it as a standard size, 33 inches by 22. That means it'll fit this opening just right.
Okay, great.
Also got it in a double bowl, so we can leave that disposer on the left-hand side.
Okay.
And what I like about this is it is a really heavy gauge sink. The way they measure metals is the term gauge, and the lower the number, the heavier the metal.
Okay.
Stainless steel sinks come in 22, 20. We actually ordered this as 18, nice and thick.
Okay.
All right, look at this. This manufacturer also offers something unique. It's a gasket built into the underside of that sink rim. Normally, you have to put a bead of silicone all the way around. We don't have to do that.
Okay.
They also have the clips already factory mounted, so the combination of these clips and that gasket means we won't let any water come in between this and the countertop.
Great.
All right, we also got a single hole drilling.
Okay.
And look at this. Your new faucet, what do you think?
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
All right, so the spray hose is an integral part of the spout.
Okay.
Now what we can do is actually do ourselves a favor and actually install some of this stuff up here.
Okay.
So we'll just feed that down through. Isn't that going to look great?
Oh yes, that's amazing.
All right, good. All right, and the manufacturer actually makes a special wrench. Allows us to tighten up the last little bit. Nice. Okay, good. So now, this hose right here connects to the spray hose. It's stainless steel flex, and what the manufacturer provides is a weight. Now the weight will help to retract the spray hose up into the spout. Now once we've done that, we can make the watertight connection between the spray hose and the faucet by pushing these together, and they have a special clip which holds it watertight. All right, so now the faucet is attached to the sink, but before we put the sink back into place, I want to show you something here.
Okay.
On the drainage system. You have two traps. One trap right here that was for the sink and for the disposer, and another trap right here for the dishwasher. Now, I hadn't seen this before, so I asked around, and in this jurisdiction, at one time, this was code. And the idea was that they didn't want to have any chance of contaminated water from the disposer getting back into the dishwasher. So they had this standpipe with a little thing called an air gap right here. Now, it turns out there were a couple of issues with this. One is if this trap ever clogged up, the water from the dishwasher could overflow the standpipe and flood the cabinet.
Oh.
okay, and not go back into the sink. And the other was if you didn't use the dishwasher enough, the water that's down in this trap could evaporate, and then you get sewer gas into the building.
Oh.
So now, this is no longer code. So what I want to do is get rid of this standpipe completely.
Okay.
And run this dishwasher discharge into the disposer, where they have tapping right here made expressly for that.
Oh, perfect.
All right? There you go, take that. Now I cut it this way. Okay. All right, the trap has got water in it. Just hold that carefully, don't spill it.
Okay.
All right, so we don't need this trap anymore, so I want to cap it off. So what I did was I actually cut the trap off right here, leaving some of the shoulder of the old fitting, because that's the same dimension as the cap that I have.
Okay.
So we put that on and tighten up this stainless steel clamp, and we're watertight. Christy, let's get that new sink into place. Lift it high enough to get those water supplies in.
Okay.
All right, let's drop it in place. Careful with your fingers. Got it? Okay. Look at that.
Yay!
All right, I'm going under. We got to tighten up those clips.
Okay.
They flip down into place and then tighten them up with a screwdriver. Okay, so now next thing I want to do is to make these water connections. There's hot and cold, red and blue.
Okay.
And then I just have to make those compression connections to our shutoff valves. Okay, so that does it for our water connections. Now we're going to start thinking about making the drain connections to the sink.
Okay.
Now we're going to reuse your disposer, and that comes with its own set of connections to the sink. So here is this top piece, the throat. I need some putty right here. So
Okay.
just grab some of that, a whole bunch, dig it out, and then roll it in your hands back and forth so it turns into like a snake, long enough to go right around here.
Okay.
Keep coming. Like working with dough. Oh, good. All right, let's try that.
Is that the right size?
Yep. Good. Now, what I want you to do, I'm going to push this down into the sink opening,
Okay.
and you can hold back against me while I make the connections from below.
Okay.
The key to this connection is the groove right here in the throat piece. We apply these two adapters onto the throat, and then this lock ring snaps into place. Once it's in place, I can tighten up these screws, and when I do, it'll pull down on that top throat, squeeze out that putty, and make a nice tight seal. Any putty squeezing out yet?
Yes.
Okay. I want to tighten them all down equally. Good, that should do it. And we make a slightly different connection on the basket strainer on the other bowl. Okay. This connection is made with a gasket, this bell-shaped flange, and a nut. And I tighten it up with a pair of pliers. So you see a lot of putty coming out up there?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now what you can do is you can actually scrape the excess putty from both the bowls
Okay.
and put it right back into the container. All right, so here is your old disposer.
Okay.
This is where we're going to lock it to the bottom of that sink adapter we already put in. Here's where the food goes down right here. This is where the discharge goes to the drain.
Okay.
Now this piece right here is provided by the disposer manufacturer for a dishwasher. Now they don't know if you have a dishwasher or not, so from the factory there's a knockout plug.
Okay.
So now that we're going to connect to this disposer, we actually have to knock it out. Okay. Now, we got to get the little piece out. Oh, there it is right here. Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
All right, now we can connect this to the sink. The disposer secures utilizing this lock ring. Push the gasket up, and now I just turn it just a bit more than a quarter of a turn, and then use a screwdriver. It'll help for leverage. There we go. Beauty. Now for the drain connections, I'm going to try to reuse as many of the old pieces as I can. All these connections are called compression connections because they have a nut and a gasket. So I've loosened all the nuts, which means everything is adjustable. So here I go here. So now I bring this straight piece right here. And now what I want to do is make this connection to the top with a very special gasket called a top gasket. And now I connect that to my basket strainer. Okay, now this is the T-fitting that's going to go over to our disposer. I'm going to turn that to where it wants to be. And I have a straight piece right here that has a special gasket that goes into the disposer right here. And that looks like it's a tiny bit too long. So we better mark that and cut it. Good. I could use a hacksaw, but they make a special cutter for it that's terrific. I just put it in, line it up on the guide hole right there, and then spin the pipe. There we go. That is cool. All right. So now that fits in there. Just turn it in. That's going to be perfect. On the disposer, there's a gasket and a yoke. The yoke has 2 screws, and as you tighten up the screws, the yoke will compress the gasket. And just snug them up. Good. Our very last connection is the discharge from the dishwasher to connect it into our disposer. Now they make a special adapter that'll fit that tapping on the side of the disposer on this side, and it fits hose connection on this side. The stainless steel clamps, we just have to tighten them all up. All right, Christy, I ran the dishwasher hose as high as I could up inside that cabinet to make sure there's no chance of backflow from the disposer to the dishwasher. Okay. Plugged in the electrical to the disposer, and hot and cold is turned back on. It is time for you to try out your new faucet and sink.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that cool?
That is
back and forth.
amazing.
You see how it changes from spray?
Yes.
And it pulls out.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think?
I can't get over it. It is a major upgrade. No more leaks. It's beautiful.